to mental wellness facilities should be a human right. This is according to community leader and psychology graduate Pretty Kekana. Kekana has founded MoTsha Change in Motion, an NPO which gives teenagers and young adults assistance in mental health challenges. This year, the organization plans to take on 1,500 youth under its various programs for mentorship and guidance where mental wellness is concerned. And she joins us now in studio. Pretty, thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's start off with what MoTsha Change in Motion is all about, really.
Okay. MoTsha Change in Motion is an NPO that assists young people with psychosocial and behavioral issues. And the reason we're doing that is to bring help closer to our young people, where we're giving them support in terms of the issues that they're experiencing that are affecting their mental health and later on affecting their behavior. So we're helping them with coaching on how to identify all the different mental disorders and how to see the signs and how to later on seek help and where to seek help. So it's basically opening up a dialogue and opening it up to the community where they know that there is a problem. This is the name of the problem and this is how I resolve it.
Now, we do know that mental wellness and the access to it really is concerning. For the person that does not have a job, it is really a difficult process for them to actually get to a mental wellness facility and to get the assistance that they need. What can people do, those that find themselves needing to seek and to speak to someone soon?
Access to mental health facilities is a very big challenge. It's what we are facing with at the moment, and this is why we are reaching out to say if you partner with MoTsha Change in Motion, we can better assist young people, because right now the primary health facilities, they do offer free mental health assistance, but it goes through a channel. The information is not out there, and they are not there on a daily basis. They come in once a week, once a month, and you need different referral letters from nurses. So that the process it's very challenging, and it's got a lot of barriers. So we are trying to reach out to more corporate partners, more young people, and more professionals to come on board so that we can be available to assist these young people spot on. Because a young person might be experiencing problems today, they lose hope, and they later on want to take on their lives. They're facing issues of depression, and they cannot wait for Thursday. They cannot wait for Wednesday. So we are saying that we want to open it up so that it's easily accessible to young people.
There's also the issue, of course, that even as a young person, you've got medical aid. I mean, we spoke about this just a short while ago off air, that even if you've got medical aid, being able to see someone is still challenging. It's
challenging, it's expensive, and sometimes, like we have discussed, that sometimes you'd even run out of funds, and sometimes you don't even have the financial support to carry you through the whole process. And also with patients, you cannot be an outpatient. Some problems, they require you to be an inpatient so that you are in a safe environment, because sometimes you can be an outpatient where you're visiting a psychologist on a day, but you're going back to an environment that triggers your emotion, that reminds you of the trauma. So we're trying to say that we want more of these facilities where young people can be in an environment, a safe space where they can heal and go through all the stages of healing.
And what are those stages that we need to keep in mind when it comes to healing, when you start to see someone and you start to speak about what you're going through, trying to let go of the hurt? What are the stages that we need to keep in mind, that it's okay to feel a certain way at a certain time?
It is okay to feel a certain way. It is okay not to be okay, and also not to rush to move on to the next stage. Because the way that life is designed, everything is moving on so fast. If I've lost somebody, or if I'm going through an emotional trauma, I'm in such a hurry to move on to the next stage. So I need to acknowledge what I'm going through, go through all the different phases, and heal through the different phases as well. Yeah.
And there's also the issue, it was quite pertinent a few years ago, and possibly still is, where you find that there are some families that do not speak about anything that has to do with a person's mental health. If you go home and you tell your mom, I've been diagnosed with depression, for them it's a no-go,
yes.
How can we start breaking those barriers to actually have the conversations with our parents, so that we're actually able to have the conversation with a stranger about how we are feeling?
It's through organizations like MoTsha, where we're introducing it to the community, where we're saying it's okay to speak up, not to sweep things under the carpet. Because what's happening right now in our communities is that we're having ticking bombs walking around ready to explode, and also the issue of trust. We've lost that thing where it's a community that brings up a child, where I can't trust my neighbor, because sometimes you would experience issues that you can't directly speak to your parents because of the reaction that you will get. But we are creating that safe space where we are saying to young people that you can speak to a trusted adult and open up. Yes, so you don't have to bottle everything inside and blame yourself or blame your family situation. It's okay to open up, because you will never know who might help you. I am a parent myself. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the solutions. So collaboration is also key in running such organizations, where we're inviting your Department of Health, Department of Education, and other corporate partners as well, where we're saying, let's come together, let's collaborate and try to resolve the problem that young people are facing at the moment. Because mental health is something that we overlook. We think it's something small, but it affects every aspect of our lives. As adults, we're losing productivity in the workplace. Children in schools, they can't concentrate, and that affects with their rights of being educated, being heard. Where are you creating spaces for these young people to be heard? So it needs a lot of collaborating for us to introduce it to the community. I think young people and the community, they would be open to this if they had more information about it. So we need to be on a drive to support organizations like MoTsha to bring information to the people, so that people know that there is help out there. Because there is help out there, even though it's not that much, but there is help out there, but young people don't know how to access it. Yeah.
You mentioned the issue of, as adults, we are not as productive as what we actually can be, because we are just struggling with certain issues in our lives. At which point do I say to myself, now I need time out? I don't necessarily need to go to a mental wellness facility, but I need time out.
Yeah. I think you shouldn't rush to move on to the next step. Like I'm saying, we're living hectic lives, and sometimes you need to take time to reflect. You need to have time where you're refraining from social media, you're refraining from TV, where you have moments alone where you can reflect and reconnect yourself, and to unfreeze from the whole societal pressure. So sometimes it is important to have moments alone where you are doing that introspection, away from everything else that's affecting how you behave and how you think and how you respond. Yeah.
So we do know that you just mentioned now that you are partnering with the Departments of Health, Department of Basic Education, and we know that young children, yesterday our reporter Bafedi Lemorane was out in the Northwest where a 12-year-old took his own life. And it's situations like that where you wonder what could have been done to prevent a child from deciding that this is the route that he'd prefer to go. As MoTsha in Motion, when you speak to the young people, let's first start off with what are we talking about when we say young people, first of all, and what do you say to them about the difficulties that they may be facing in life?
When we're talking about the young people that we are working with, we're working with 10-year-olds to 19-year-olds, and we've started working with young adults, 19 to 24. So with the young people, we just make them understand that they are individuals. That's where it starts, the comparison, because in the playgrounds, in the streets when they're playing, they compare each other, they compare their lifestyles, and then that brings in a lot of pressure where they tend to want to lose hope because they don't look like the next child, they don't dress like the next child, they don't eat like the next child, they don't carry. So the comparison, it brings a lot of pressure to young people. So we first start by instilling the idea that you are an individual. It's okay for you to be an individual, and yes, this is what you are currently facing. So we're trying to help them to build resilience, to see themselves out of their current situation, and make them aware of the hard work that they also need to put in to ensure that they are out of that situation. Because sometimes as a child, I don't know if you've also had that mentality where you're thinking that I'm a child, everything needs to be provided for me, I'm waiting for people to come through for me, I'm waiting for people to open opportunities for me. So we're trying to instill that individuality for them to also have a voice, for them to knock at doors, to speak to people, to build meaningful relationships as well, so that they will be able to get solutions around their thinking as well. So it's also instilling the change of mindset as well. Yeah.
Just briefly for us, for those that are interested, would like to partner with you, or just want to get more information about MoTsha in Motion, how can they do so?
Okay. We have a website, which is www.motsha.co.za. We have interesting programs on a monthly basis, and next month we will be running a very big project for the boy child, where we will be teaching them more about your rejection, the power of managing your emotions. So we are looking for people that might be interested, that have initiatives that are aligned to what we are also trying to achieve, to come forth to assist us. Our email and our contact numbers are on the website, but just for easy reference, it's info@motsha.co.za.
All right. MoTsha Change in Motion founder Pretty Kekana, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now we're keeping an